Well, back when it was launched, Twitter was sold as a triumph of free speech and a one-stop digital shop for interesting ideas and debate. Now, unfortunately, it turned out to be the complete opposite, a hive of abuse and disinformation, and the front line of a vicious cancel culture aimed squarely at conservatives. But now that might be about to change with news that Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and himself a self-styled champion of free speech, has become Twitter's largest shareholder, snapping up $3 billion worth of stock. For their reaction, let's bring in the panel. From Adelaide, columnist for The Australian, Dr Jennifer Oriel, and from Gunnedah in New South Wales, former Deputy Prime Minister John Anderson. Now, I don't really see Elon Musk as a saviour on much. I'm not a fan of his electrical subsidies to build his empire. But, John, do you think he can turn Twitter around?
Well, you can always hope, and it's always good with someone of prominence and influence, even though I think we overrate movie stars and, other high-profile people often simply because of their celebrity status. This fellow, if he's serious, can make a real difference, and that's to be welcomed. And if the test is, does he understand that free speech is about actually preserving the rights of minorities, not the people with cultural heft to have their say?
Well, his test, Jennifer, will be, will he unblock President Trump? Because I can't for the life of me, and there's a lot that Trump says online that I, don't like at all. But how can he be blocked and the Supreme Leader of Iran have a Twitter account?
Well, I think if you look at Elon Musk's political donations record, you see that he's certainly not pro-Trump. He donated nearly all of his donations were for Clinton in the Trump v Clinton presidential race. But what's interesting to me is how much Musk will have to do to make Twitter a free speech zone. If you look recently, he had an interview with the satirical site Babylon Bee in December, where he discussed wide-ranging topics. But one of his comments was that woke is like a virus of the mind and one of the biggest threats to civilization. And yet in March, Babylon Bee was censored, suspended on Twitter for a satirical account which named Rachel Levine, Biden's transgender assistant health spokesperson, as an early contender for Man of the Year. So I think there's a lot going on Twitter, and Elon Musk has his work cut out for him if he wants to recover some of its pro-Western, pro-liberal free speech principles.